Hey everyone! Welcome back to Yusef Reacts, the place where we dive deep into the world of DC Universe. Today, we're talking about Justice League, War on Infinite Earths Part 2. I am Charlotte. Today, we have an exclusive, action-packed clip from Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. The upcoming middle chapter in a three-part animated crossover film by Warner Bros. Animation, DC, and Warner Bros. Home Entertainment. In his introduction to the clip, which you can view via the player above or the embed below, Batman voice actor Jens Apples reveals to IGN FanFest that Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 will be available on digital on April 23, 2024. Part 1 is currently available on Blu-ray and digital. Part 3, which will be released later this year, features the late Kevin Conroy as the voice of the Dark Knight from Batman, the animated series. The Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy concludes the Tomorrowverse story arc that began with 2022 Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 trailer shows the DC heroes of the Tomorrowverse and other realities turning on each other. As James Gunn's DC Universe is on its way, another DC franchise is coming to an end as Warner Bros. Is in the midst of releasing its Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy, which will finish the Tomorrowverse for good. Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 was released at the start of the year, showing the heroes from multiple Earths beginning to witness the multiverse's biggest threat yet. As the world waits to see how the Tomorrowverse movie franchise concludes, Warner Bros. Released a new Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 trailer to preview the second chapter of the three-part series. Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 will pick up where Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 left off, as Harbinger ended up being revealed to be none other than Kara Zor-El, K.A. Supergirl. As the Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 trailer made it very clear, Supergirl will have an even bigger role in this installment. The synopsis also teases that the Shadow Demon's army is bent on the destruction of all reality. It swarms over our world and all parallel Earths, putting the Justice League up against tougher threats. In Screen Rant's exclusive Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 interview with the creative team, they noted Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 will also include characters from other DC animated universes. According to director Butch Lukic, there is one or two characters that may be coming in from that universe. However, who those characters may be remains to be seen, as they are keeping a lot of details about the final two parts under wraps. Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 will pick up where Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 left off, as Harbinger ended up being revealed to be none other than Kara Zor-El, K.A. Supergirl. As the Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 trailer made it very clear, Supergirl will have an even bigger role in this installment. The synopsis also teases that the Shadow Demon's army is bent on the destruction of all reality. It swarms over our world and all parallel Earths, putting the Justice League up against tougher threats. In Screen Rant's exclusive Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 interview with the creative team, they noted Justice League, Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 will also include characters from other DC animated universes. According to director Butch Lukic, there is one or two characters that may be coming in from that universe. However, who those characters may be remains to be seen, as they are keeping a lot of details about the final two parts under wraps. Given how this is the second time Warner Bros. Has adapted Crisis on Infinite Earths, it will be interesting to see how the Tomorrowverse ultimately tackles it as they finish this franchise. The bigger question is whether this will set up a new DC animated universe, as Crisis on Infinite Earths has major ramifications in the comics due to how it reset the DC continuity. But for now, the world will have to wait and see what happens when Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 arrives on digital this April. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends and subscribe for more movie reviews. Until next time, happy watching.